So you want to know how to make $1 million? Cool, I got you. And the great thing is that it's only going to take me about 5 minutes to break it down. And now that I'm saying this out loud, I might be lying right now. It might take me a little bit longer than 5 minutes, maybe 6 or 7 minutes. But if you're worried about how long this video is going to take, then by all means, just click off of this video and go watch some easy side hustle or some passive income video that ain't gonna work for you anyways. Or better yet, watch a cat video or something like that, because if you're worried about how long this video is gonna take, then you don't have to focus to implement any of this stuff anyways, because this isn't gonna be some type of industry jargon to try to make myself sound smart. And this for sure isn't gonna be any, oh, you just gotta work harder, motivational fluff to try to make you feel good about yourself. Because most people think getting rich is about grinding 24/7 or praying for some magical business idea to hit. And that's why they stay broke. But the truth is, building $1 million business is a system. And system, SYSTEM, stands for saving yourself time, energy, and money. And once you see how it works, it stops feeling like climbing Mount Everest and it starts feeling like pushing a shopping cart downhill. So if you stick with me, I'll walk you through the exact steps that made me over 7 figures online in my business and that made my first digital product a little over 900K. And I'll show you how to pick the right market and avoid the traps that kill most entrepreneurs, and show you how to build something that scales without you losing your mind. So first, let's kill all the myths that keep people broke. So myth number 1 is that you have to have a good idea. Wrong. The cemetery is full of people with good ideas. What they didn't have was a market that was desperate to buy. Now, myth number 2 is that you have to have a lot of startup cash. Nope. Most people spend their little bit of cash on things that don't matter, like a logo or some fancy website or some office space. Look, broke with the logo is still broke. And myth 3 is that you just gotta work harder. Look, hard work don't pay. And if hard work did pay, then construction workers would be billionaires. It's not about effort, it's about leverage. And so many people spend too much time working hard that they don't even have any time to actually make money. And that's because they have absolutely no leverage. Now, once you throw these lies in the trash, you're actually ready to play the game that creates millions. So, how do you spot the gold rush? Well, every $1 million play is about picking the right wave. You don't need to reinvent electricity. You just need to be the guy that's selling surfboards when the tidal wave comes in. So how do you spot something worth riding? That's what she said. You ask yourself these 3 questions. So you ask yourself, is it growing fast? That's also what she said. But is it growing fast? Look for markets that feel like they're exploding. AI, health hacks, mental health hacks, digital education, subscription services. Don't pick an industry that's dying like Blockbuster. The second question, are people desperate? Look, the riches are in the niches, but the riches are specifically in the pain. If people are frustrated or losing money or staying up late at night Googling solutions, then you're really close. And then the third question is the pie huge? But here's the thing, you don't need the whole pie. You just need a slice. Hell, you don't even need a slice. You just need a sliver. Because if the pie is a $10 billion industry, well, you can get 10 million of that. And that's just a little incy-wincy sliver. The broke entrepreneur tries to push a boulder uphill, but the smart entrepreneur finds the hill that the boulder just rolls down on its own. That's how Jeff Bezos saw e-commerce. That's how Uber saw taxis. You need to stop asking, what business should I start? And start asking, where's the tsunami and how can I ride it? Now, once you spotted the right wave, here's the second half, the model. And this is where 99% of people absolutely screw themselves. They pick low leverage businesses, and I'll show you what a low leverage business looks like. So that would be something like agencies. And that's you literally exchanging your time for hours. Or they'll pick something like consulting, where every new client that you get just requires more work. Or they'll do something like drop shipping. Or they'll do something like affiliate marketing, right? Whereas with these two, you own absolutely nothing. So good job, you just built yourself another job. So look, if you want to hit $1 million without working yourself into the grave, you're going to need these 4 things. For one, you're going to need high margins, right? So if something you're selling costs $100, it shouldn't cost you $90 to fulfill. You want something that has at least 70% margins, and that's why things like digital products, communities, and software slap. And then you want to have something that scales with tech, not people. If you're building something and the only way for you to get more sales is to hire more people, then you're doomed. You want to have the tech do the heavy lifting for you. The third thing is that it needs to be your product, which means you need to own the product. And this might sound crazy to you, but there's so many entrepreneurs out here that are building their businesses on borrowed land. Drop shippers, they don't own the product. Affiliate marketers, they don't own the product. There's a lot of people out here that are white labeling other people's products. They don't own the product. There are other people that are out here that are white labeling other people's software. You don't own the software. So if they go belly up or they just change their mind one day to do something else, your whole business goes with it. There's a guy that I know right now that is building an agency, and he is white labeling a software that somebody else owns, and he's building his entire business on that white labeled software. He's basically just taking somebody else's software that gave him the permission to white label it, and he's putting all of his branding on it, and he's acting as if it's his own. But if they belly up, or if they change the rules, or if they decide that they just don't want to do this anymore, his entire business will crumble in an instant. If it's not your product, if it's not something that you own, you don't control it. And then the fourth thing, it isn't an absolute must, but you will be in a way better position. And when I say it's not an absolute must, it's not a must to get to $1 million level. But if you want something that is going to be sustainable long term, you need to start thinking about this. And this is something that has recurring revenue. So this means that somebody buys something from you once, but they pay for it over and over and over and over and over again. I call it sticky business. Netflix doesn't wake up sweating about sales every morning. You shouldn't either, and as somebody that's been there before, it's a very stressful position to be in. So you want to start thinking of ways to where you can make your business sticky, or another way that I like to call it, I say that you need to have a trash business. And when I say you need to have a trash business, a lot of people think that I mean like you need to have a bad business. No, but every single time that I go to the grocery store to buy trash bags, I'm like, man, this is genius. Because I don't want a stinky trash can, and I'm literally throwing my money in the trash every time I go buy trash bags, but I have to buy them, right? So even though that's not something to where it's actual true recurring income by the definition, it still is recurring because a company that sells trash bags, they probably know the time estimate that it's going to take from a customer buying their product to when they return to buy a product, because they're going to have to come back to buy the product because they don't want stinky trash cans. But start to think of ways to where you can build this recurring income to where somebody buys something from you once, but they keep paying for it over and over and over and over again. And that's why I said this isn't a must to get to $1 million level. But if you're thinking of something to where you don't always have to be going out there and hustling for a sale each and every single day, and you're thinking of having an evergreen business or a long-term business, or you're thinking of not just the now, but you're thinking of the future, start thinking of ways to where you can add recurring income to your income. And the great thing about this is when everybody's just looking for the sale right now, everybody's trying to reach new heights, right? But when you're thinking of building something that has recurring income, you're not thinking of hitting new heights. You're thinking of making new lows. You're thinking of making a new base and a new floor. And when you're thinking of how you can add recurring income to your business model, you're focused on how can I raise the floor over time instead of how can I reach the top over time? Because, and I'm telling you this because I've been here before also. Maybe this will be a topic for another video. I've been in a position where my business income literally went to zero overnight. Like, I'm not exaggerating about that, but it did that because I didn't have any floor, right? So when I'm up here trying to hit new heights and I don't have any floor and stuff bottoms out, it bottoms out, right? But if I had a floor right here, the lowest that it can go is to that new floor. So instead of trying to make more money each month, you wake up with a little better feeling knowing that even if I don't sell anything, I'm going to at least have this much money coming in this month. It's a more peaceful feeling to have as an entrepreneur. So start thinking of how can you raise the floor instead of how can you raise the bar. So just in the event you fall off the bar, you won't fall that far because the floor will be pretty close to the bar. But these 4 things are the difference between hustling for scraps and actually building something that can change your family tree. Now, here's the sneaky part that nobody out here tells you about. You don't need a product to make your first sales. You need validation. You need to sell before you build. Now, when I say to sell before you build, I mean that you need to test the market with the leanest experiment possible. Make a landing page, run a wait list, have one-on-one conversations. Don't waste 6 months building the thing only to realize that nobody wants it. Sell it first. If nobody bites, good. You just save yourself 6 months. If they do bite, good. You just funded your build. That's how real entrepreneurs move. They don't cross their fingers and hope that people come. They have a mentality like, in 2 weeks, I don't know if this thing works or not. Now, here's the choke point that nobody out here talks about. And yes, I said choke point, like the choke point. Now, other people, they might call it the bottleneck, right? But I call it the choke point. And the truth is that the biggest bottleneck in your business will be you, your mindset, your skills, your ego. Most entrepreneurs get fired from their business when it grows because they can't grow with it. Imagine doubling and tripling your income every year. That means that you would have to double your mindset, your skill set, your personal development over those years as well. So how do you not choke on your own business? Well, you build what I call the trio of influence. And once you put this trio together, it's more powerful than Blossom, Buttercup, and Bubbles, or Rocky, Tum Tum, and Cole, or Chili, Left Eye, and T-Boz, right? So it starts off with your peers. You need to have peers to run with that are on a similar path as you, because iron sharpens iron, and it is very, very lonely, and things can feel a lot harder when you're out here running as a lone wolf instead of moving in a pack of wolves. Because already as an entrepreneur, you're going to be experiencing things that 99% of people around you, and I don't just mean within your actual circle, I just mean just strangers that are passing you each and every single day, they are not able to even fathom, let alone comprehend the issues that you have, the worries that you have, the stresses that you have, the imposter syndrome that you may feel, the anxieties that you have. They can't fathom it because they could not imagine living a life like you are working on building. I categorize 2 different type of people. We have the entrepreneurs, and then everybody else I call civilians, right? Like, even though I'm a civilian, it's just something that I started to kick up back when I used to play basketball, right? I used to say that there's athletes and then there's civilians, because everybody else could not imagine the life that I was living as an athlete, especially in college, waking up for 5 a.m. workouts and then having mandatory breakfast and then 8 a.m. class and then workouts after that and then weightlifting sessions, then more class, and then mandatory study hall. My days would literally start at 5 a.m. or probably before that, more like 4:15, 4:30 a.m. because I had to be at the gym at 5 a.m. and my days would end at 9 p.m. because that's when study hall was over and it was mandatory. Then all these other little college students were just out here complaining about, oh, how hard it is to be a student. Well, guess what? I gotta be a student and do all that other stuff that you don't even have to. I'm like, man, they don't understand the life that I'm living right now. I became an entrepreneur full time. It's the same exact thing. So you got to find a pack of people that are going through some of the same things that you are going through also. Iron sharpens iron. Now, the second thing are mentors. You want to have somebody that's a few steps ahead that can save you from potholes. Now, I'm not saying that a mentor is required. You can figure out how to do everything on your own, but a mentor can save you some time because they've already gone through some of the pitfalls that you are about to go through and can steer you in the right direction so you can avoid those pitfalls. Everything is about collapsing time. And then the third thing is going to be your heroes. Now, some of your heroes could actually be your mentors from afar. Like, you may not have direct access to these people, but these are going to be people who stretch your mind. Whose content do you watch? Whose books do you read? Who are going to be those people who stretch your mind? And here's the thing about your mind. Stuff stays in your mind, and once you know something and once you see something, you can't unsee it and you can't unknow it. And once your mind is stretched, it can never go back to its original state. So be very cautious on what you allow to go into your mind, because what you tune into, you turn into, and what entertains you trains you. So pick wisely. But I'm telling you, if you don't constantly level up, then you'll end up being the lid on your own business. And I promise you, there's nothing worse than realizing that you are the bottleneck to your own business. There's nothing worse than realizing that you are the reason why your business choked and died. Now, here's the fun part. Now, once you've validated your idea and you've got some cash flowing in, you install a system for yourself. And system, SYSTM, stands for saving yourself time, energy, and money. Right? So the system can work for you 24/7, 365, and you can get your time back. And that's how you actually make more while working less. So that means documenting the stuff that really works. That means delegating the stuff that works to people or tech, most likely tech, because if you want to scale and your only option is to have people to scale, then that's only going to lower your margins. And in this world that we live in, with all this technology that we have available, you want to scale with tech over people. Then you want to double down on what prints money. And then you want to cut the rest of the crap out, or like the wise philosopher Uncle Joy once said, cut it out. I don't know, you probably don't know about Full House. But the goal is to have your business running and working like clockwork. That's how you stop working in your business and start working on your business. You don't need a 100-person team. You just need a pizza-sized squad. And when I say a pizza-sized squad, I mean like enough to where you could share a pizza with people. And if you're like me, I can eat a pizza by myself. And to get to $1 million level, you just need you. You don't even need any team. Your team can be you and tech. And you don't even have to be a techie person to get the tech to work. Because trust me, I am not a techie person at all. I don't know how to run most of this crap. But once I get the crap running, I don't have to work on it anymore because it runs itself. And you don't need 50 lemon offers. You need a core offer, a product for prospects, and a way to send those buyers, just like all them that you see on the screen right now. If you're ready to make more working less online from stuff that you already know, go ahead and click the link down in the description and join this Credit at the Top community. For weekly coaching from myself, all my exclusive trainings, plus a private community of entrepreneurs, all designed to grow your business online. It's only a few bucks a day to join right now, literally less than a cup of coffee per day. So go ahead and click the link down in the description if you want to tap in, and I'll see you on our coaching call this Wednesday. But I'm telling you, getting to $1 million level, I'm not going to say that it's easy, but it is very, very simple. And the simple stuff scales. It's all that fancy stuff that fails. And the difference between chaos and $1 million business that doesn't eat your soul alive is picking the right wave, using the right model, selling before you build, keeping yourself from becoming the choke point, and scaling with the system. So go ahead and click the link down in the description if you want to tap into the community. And I'll see you on our coaching call this Wednesday. Go ahead and check out this video right here for a system that I use to make $10,000 in an hour with a single launch. It's credited at the top.